Bruh, you're listening to Dubious Conclusions.
On July 3rd, we set out to meet the legendary Ohio skater, Kai Jensen. What we got was much more than we expected. You may know Kai from his legacy of triple flipping 6th third graders while simultaneously vaping, or being the only 8th grader who lived off the sole diet of gas station burritos for an entire month. So we set out on the road to find the legendary Kai Jensen, and find out if these tales were true. It was a Tuesday afternoon when we arrived in Bethdale Skate Park to talk to some of the local skate community about Jensen. Hey, excuse me, do any of you know Kai Jensen?
What are you wearing a suit out here for? It's like 80 degrees.
Do any of you know Kai Jensen?
Oh man, Kai Jensen! Dude's a fucking legend, man, with a heart of gold, man. Once I was like super bummed and he just like skates up, gives me daps, then hands me this icy Mountain Dew and just goes, "Cheer up, bro. We live in a world where GameCube exists." I mean, like, my mind was just blown. I still have that empty bottle of Dew to this day.
So, how do you know Kai?
Well, I let the dude beg my mom for a six-pack. Anyone else, I wouldn't let that fly, but come on, man. It's Kai Jensen we're talking here. And I gotta say, my mom's been real cool beans since.
So you're Kai's girlfriend?
Yeah, me and Kai have been dating for, I don't know, let's see, 3.5 weeks now. I don't want to rush things, but when you know when someone's the one, you can just feel it.
I don't mean to suggest that you're oblivious, but you're the 4th girl today who told us they're dating Kai.
What? Who are those sluts thinking they can be with my man, Kaya? I'll kill him.
Okay. We ran into Danny Alvaro, also known as Asshole, who claims to be Kai's best friend. So, how did you get a nickname like Asshole?
Oh, bro, I was just chilling like I always do with my boy at Bethdale, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my way, asshole," and then somehow it just kind of stuck, and now I kind of dig it.
At around 1 p.m. that day, we finally got a call from Kai Jensen's mother, Stacy, also known as Stace. She informed us that Kai wasn't around at the time because he was probably out doing his thing with his boys, but she graciously accepted us into what felt more like Kai's home than hers.
So this is where Kaya sleeps, this is where Kaya poops, this is our dining room where Kaya puts together his skateboards. Please don't put anything down on it. I'm keeping it clear for Kaya.
There's nothing wrong with a mother and son bond, but this felt like more of an obsession, the way a cult follower would look up to their leader. We continued on with the interview. So, Stacy...
Oh, please, call me Stace. It's a little nickname Kaya gave to me.
Right. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Mr. Jensen?
Oh, you mean Tony. Yeah, well, once he got big and famous, he kind of went off and did his own things. Can you blame him? All is good, as he gifted me with my beautiful baby boy, Kaya. Which reminds me, I better start cooking. Wouldn't want Kaya to come home and not have his Hot Pocket and Cheeto casserole ready. He works hard, you know.
Right. Well, thanks for talking to us. We really appreciate it. After we left the Jensen residence, we did some research to learn more on Kai's father. His name was not Tony, and he lived in Sunnyvale trailer parks. We couldn't find any records of him skating, and from photos on social media, he appeared to be out of shape for most of his life. He had abandoned Kai and his mother 3 years ago, but the reason for this left us scratching our heads. Even the skate blogs and Kai's fan pages that were predominantly run by teenage girls left us no trail towards an answer. Just a bunch of talk on how Kai's dad is the best skater in the world, if you don't count Kai, of course. We waited at Bethdale Skate Park until about 3 p.m. that day. From what we were told, that's around the time Kai comes to skate, and any fruit booters and scooters have to leave the park. Well, sure enough, around almost exactly 3 p.m., people started to clear the park. They didn't leave though. They just took their gas station burritos and sat around the fenced-in park, like an audience waiting for something to happen, or someone to appear. Almost 2 hours went by without a single shred of Kai. The crowd dispersed, some with their heads hung low and girls crying. Bizarre for sure. It was time for us to leave and go to another park that was also notorious for his presence. Skatetopia.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Mike.
This is Mike and Ike's Skate Shop, and we got some good specials this week for you. This week's special is a unicorn-covered skateboard and new special sparkle grip tape. Light up wheels in a rainbow color.
Did you really order those?
Ordered 800 of them, and we're selling them at a discount price.
What?
$10 each. Decks, wheels included. Gotta sell them. The back room is packed with them. I actually wanted to order 8, but added another 0, and we got 800.
Are you
So we got a special on those this week.
What about the skull boards?
No skulls. Canceled that order because now we have 800 unicorn skateboard.
Tell me you're joking.
Not joking. Totally 100% serious. At Mike and Ike's Skateboard. This week only. And as many weeks until we get rid of all these boards.
Hey, do you have any decks with flames on them?
We got skateboards with unicorns on them. Only unicorns. Matter of fact, there was no rooms for anything else, so I had to dump out all the other skateboards. I love unicorns, and you will too. Come on down to Mike and Ike's Skateboard Unicorn Emporium.
Skatetopia was a massive indoor skate warehouse, filled with just about anything you can dream up to skate. Although we heard much about it and saw pictures of its attractions, like its Red Bull foot spa and its practice shred mills, we were still in awe the minute we walked in the front door. Skaters were flying through the air like spitballs in a classroom. And speaking of the air, it was so pungent of sweat, it was like they pumped Axe body spray through the ventilation system to counteract it. Overwhelming would be an understatement, but the skaters, they loved it. It was their oxygen. That's when we saw him. He was across the room in an area cleared out like someone was in the spotlight of a dance-off. He had cheerleaders with Hulk hands-on surrounding him, kids screaming till their neck veins burst. You could hear the sound of nearly every skater tapping their boards against the sweat-stained plywood. Our first impression of Kai was not a good one. We were shocked to say the least. He seemed a little, territorial.
Get your fucking media bullshit out of here before I pop shove it up your ass.
To give you an image of Kai, he had long black hair and was wearing a Thrasher t-shirt, which upon closer evaluation actually read Shredder. None of this is what surprised us though. What took us by storm was that Kai looked to be about 35 years of age. We were still looking at an 8th grader here, but one that had been in attendance of the 8th grade since he was 14 years old. So Kai, tell us about the legend of, what was it, triple flipping 6th, 3rd graders?
Oh, you guys heard of that? Well, it was more like 15 and they were 5th graders. So there you go. Now you can get your cameras out of my park, unless you're filming for my new sponsor reel.
He then skated away. That was another thing. Kai was said to have several sponsors, including DC and Spitfire. But upon checking with these companies, we learned in fact Kai wasn't sponsored by either of them, if any, at all. Now the audio you're about to hear is a clip just before Kai gave me and the camera crew all noogies and 3rd-degree wedgies.
You fuckheads think you can come to my Nard Park and sideshow with my bros uninvited? Guess again, compadres.
That's when Kai tail flipped our camera guy and proceeded to Nollie Smith grind our sound guy's boom pole. To say the least, it was extremely impressive. Kai sorta did have this cool vibe about him. He had this I don't care attitude. Plus, I mean, there was no denying the dude had skills. Hey Kai, can I talk to you for a minute?
What'd I tell you about your media bullshit?
Just want to talk to you about your dad for a second, that is. If that's okay with you.
Tony? What's there to talk about? The dude's a freaking legend, man, but he ran off and left me in Stace when he started to realize that I had more shred in my blood than he ever did. Guess he couldn't accept my level of gnar. I mean, I totally get it.
At that point, I actually started to feel bad for Kai. I mean, the kid was stuck in time and completely in denial. He buried himself in a world that worshipped him so he could escape the cards he was dealt, then just never moved on. When I realized this, I decided to keep an open mind and extend a hand as a friend rather than just a guy who came to Ohio to interview this legend. Yo, Kai,
What's up, bro?
what you doing later, bro? Trying to go down the watering hole, grab some fish tacos? No homo, bro.
You buying?
Of course, dude, whatever you want. We spent hours with Kai, chatting and eating co's down at the watering hole. So man, we did a little research behind your back. You know your dad really isn't the legendary Tony Hawk.
What? You been snooping on me and my family, bro? Yeah, I know, man. Me and you and everyone else knows too. My dad's actually Bob Burnquist, the second most legendary skater of all time, bro. Boom!
Just then, he handed me his prize deck, looked me square in the eye, and said, "Have you ever tried?" I didn't even have to say no. He just knew. A few hours later, and with a lot of help from Kai, I could get from point A to point B. Fuck, this kid was cool. We began to talk about his awesome hair, his perfect skate style, and all the chicks he's had the chance to be with. He made me feel good. Like I was someone too. Kai's actually like the man. He's the myth and the legend all in one awesome dude. Posers might say I haven't had his back from day one, but like, he knows, man. Anyway, this will probably be my last recording, because I gave Kai my gear to record his new demo reel. He's gonna get a few more sponsors this week, I know it. I'm also going to stay out here in Ohio for a while, since Kai thought our van would make a sweet chill pad for him and his girlfriends to hang out. This is me signing out saying, when you meet a best friend like Kai, you know it's bros for life. I mean, you can just feel it.
This episode was written by Austin Friend, including characters voiced by Jeremy Stebens, Shayne Kamat, Ethan Butthole Minsker, Michelle Lee, Austin Friend, and Adrian Alexis. Sound design and mixing by Austin Friend.
Yo, media dude, you done with that gear? I just invented this new gnarly trick.
Of course, Kai, anything for you, bro Mingo.
So hello. Today in Dubious Conclusions Behind the Scenes, we're here with Adrian, Ethan, and Austin. This episode was written by Austin. We wanted to ask him a few pertinent questions about why he came up with this story. Let's start with Austin. Austin,
Hey.
how did you come up with this story?
Well, I guess I started writing it not in the intention of it being a documentary style. I just wanted an illusion of this skater and all the comedy that could come with it. But after watching a series on Netflix, and that was done documentary style with a comedy side to it, it kind of turned into that while writing it.
So basically you're telling us you ripped off a series from Netflix. Do tell, what show did you rip off?
Okay, if you can call it a riff-off if you want to be an asshole, but I'm gonna I'm gonna go by inspired by instead, and that would be inspired by American Vandal.
Fine, okay, rip off or inspired. Good enough. So basically your character is supposed to be, and when I say your character, because you, if the fans don't know it out there, you play the lead, Kai Jensen. And
Jensen,
I would like to
sure.
ask one important question here. How come Ethan Minsker wasn't cast in the role of Kai Jensen? Because since everyone knows he's an asshole.
Hold on, wait. I think I can answer this one for you, Austin. I think we can all say that, you know, Ethan Minsker isn't exactly as the chillest dude as Kai Jensen would be able to embody that.
There's
You
truth
know,
in that.
I think there's a skater essence. And
Also-
that's really baseline. And here's Jeremy.
Sorry, we are interrupted by Jeremy Stebens, another cast member. He is the interviewer. This is a special guest that we just brought in for a last moment. Let's go on.
All right. So I think we were getting at why Ethan wasn't Kai Jensen, why I was.
Yeah, I think it was something
And
along
I
the
think
line, yeah.
the main reason for this is because I can triple flip and Ethan can't triple flip.
That's right.
And, I mean, you can't break it down more simply than that, can you now, Ethan?
Challenge accepted. On the next episode, we will see who is a better skater by audio effects only. So basically, you're saying your upbringing was very close to Kai Jensen, and that is a part of what inspired the story. Is your true life tales of skating and skate parks? Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. Easy to write about and also easy to make fun of.
Oh, I'm not the hacker. This is Baby is the hacker. Hi there, I'm Crazy Horse.
I'm in charge here, son. Have you ever seen something like this?
Not stay where I am. I'm a man of science, not superstition.
No one, Dr. Martin, just the maid. Must have forgotten what time it was.
We are on God's time, sir, not on man's.